Okay, race fans, we have Danielle Teal here. We're going to change a little. We're going to go from four wheels to two wheels. If you follow anything in AMA Pro Racing, you've heard or seen or have read something about this lady. Danielle, welcome to Overstar TV.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay, you are on, let me get in here, M1Powersports.com, NextMotoChampion.com, and AMAProLive.com. All right.
That's right. That's
Uh,
right. All three.
all three. You're a very busy lady. Um, let's get right to it. We'll talk about motorcycle, the actual racing in a bit. We want to learn more about you. There's the big thing the last, 5, 7 years about getting involved in racing. We see it more and more, good, bad, whatever. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. But you don't have many people behind the camera, behind the microphone, women that much,
Right.
especially in motorcycle racing. How did you get into it?
Well, actually, my fiance, he used to race AMA Pro Superbike, and he got me back in 2005. I had never even heard of it before. Went to my first race at Road Atlanta. Couldn't believe the people that were there, and that I had never heard of it. 'Cause I think that I'm pretty in the loop and kind of cool, and would know about something like road racing, as cool and fast and dangerous as it was. And I was actually hooked at my first race and been a fan, a diehard fan ever since. So that's how I got started.
Um, okay, let's go in some of your credentials here. M1 Power Sports. What's that?
M1 Power Sports, they are the promoters for AMA Pro Road Racing right now. This year they're only doing the three big kahunas. It was Road Atlanta, it'll be Homestead Miami, and the final round at New Orleans. They've been around for years. Cameron and Nissan, they work their butts off to get the fans basically the best experience they can have at the racetrack. And it's right now all about also getting the new fans, people who have never been there before, otherwise wouldn't think they would enjoy road racing, but they bring everything in: the carnival for the kids, the something for the wife. If you've never been, you'll be a fan after you come to an M1 event. But they're all promoting and making the event basically as fun. They say, come for the race, stay for the party, come for the race. It's all about making it the best experience possible.
Okay. NextMotoChampion.com. What's that?
Next Moto Champion magazine and website is basically a site and magazine dedicated to the youth sports, but also focuses on those who've been working really hard to become the next Moto Champions, while also giving props to those who have, like Josh Hayes. We had him on the show last night, but we're a website, a magazine, a talk show, everything, and we're basically in cahoots with one, trying to just promote the sport and get it back to where it used to be.
And that's a podcast that's on every Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
An hour after.
NextMotoGP.com.
Yeah, so after you watch us, just click on NextMotoGP.com and check out Daniel and the interviews with some of these great drivers. And also now, AMA Pro Live. Now that looks like a lot.
Oh, AMA Pro Live is it's a lot of work. I go up at the racetrack. AMA, Gene Crouch from AMA, and Cameron with M1 Road Race Factory. There's all these people behind this AMA Pro Live, where we've got GoPro cameras attached to different places around the racetrack, on the back of JD Beach's motorcycle with Road Race Factory, one in the pit, and one with me, a point of view camera. They call it Teal Time. Teal Time, where I walk around and basically rove the pits, the paddock, the grid, and you get to see this whole first-person view that you otherwise don't get to see if you've never been to the racetrack or have never been down in the pits. You get to see kind of the whole commotion. That's what a lot of people don't know, is the whole production behind the racing. Because if you're just watching it on TV, you just see the green flag, to checkered flags. Bring you a whole different point of view. That's what that's all about.
Okay, so we've established the fact that you know a heck of a lot more about motorcycle racing than I do. So now I get these questions and learn some stuff. Is it me, or is it kind of interesting how AMA has kind of set up a whole series just Josh Hayes a championship, because he's just running away with it?
He really is. We talked to him last night, and like he's always said, and sticks to the fact that he's been with his team for a few years now, and they just work like an oil machine, for lack of better words. They bike, he gives them a little hand signal. They know exactly what he's talking about. They get to it. And he gets back out there, and he said that he looks at it like every lap around the racetrack, even if it's practice, even if it's qualifying, he knows that Yamaha's spending money, so he goes out there and rides like they're spending money every lap. So he works hard, and it's paying off. So
Well, okay, next weekend, AM up in Indianapolis. They're going to be racing the same weekend with the MotoGP. And, like, I think it's pretty much safe to assume everybody in AMA aspires to be a MotoGP driver to go over there and race in the World Championship. Is Josh Hayes good enough to be a MotoGP driver? Not just to be a driver, but to be a competitive driver, to be up near the front.
yeah, any fan of Josh Hayes would so, but he thinks he's a little old to be going and diving in, at his age, which his talent speaks far more than his number of years does. But he thinks he's too old. I think everybody as a fan would love to see him in World Superbike, even MotoGP, considering how well he did there Valencia last year. But his phone hasn't rang once after his ride in MotoGP, so he just takes that ride as something new and cool that he happened to do well at. Otherwise, is going to stay in AMA and do his thing here, which I'm pretty happy about because I like watching him firsthand at the racetrack, and be sad to see him go, even though it'd be a great step up for him.
All right. Well, let's keep on that theme of drivers who are running AMA Pro. Who do you think is young enough and has the talent enough to compete in MotoGP?
Honestly, Josh Herron, I think we'll see him there in the next few years. Cameron Bobier, I think we could see them there. There's a whole pack of young guys, and that's really cool watching the Daytona Sport Bike class right now, is just seeing how hard these young guys are pushing because they're the next generation. So I think any one of those guys running up in the front could probably hang, if not MotoGP, Moto2. I mean, we've seen them there, and but I definitely think Cameron Bobier, Josh Herron, kind of been groomed and polished into these really really professional, dedicated, hardworking. I mean, just their skill level and style of riding, I think, looks MotoGP to me, anyways. But what do I know,
Right.
I think we could see them there.
All right. When I do interviews, I kind of freestyle. Something just popped in my head. We have AMA Superbike, Pro Superbike,
Right.
and then you have World Superbike, another big international series Superbike. What is the difference in basically, if you took a World Superbike and an AMA Pro bike, what would be the difference?
The differences between the motorcycles, I'm not really sure the difference as far as technicality goes, but I know the levels, it's our domestic series, kind of British Superbike series, so the rules are different. Seen a couple of our guys carry over and try out the World Superbike. We saw Jake Holden do it this year at Miller, so I don't think bike-wise the transition is that big of a difference, or that the motorcycle is big. I'm not really sure. That's my love for this sport is kind of at a base level where I can kind of give you the big picture and not so much the details. But I think as far as levels go, our domestic series is a good feeder series into those, just like British Superbike. We're breeding a bunch of good ones.
All right. My other train about AMA and the whole series, you mentioned earlier, they're going to be racing in Homestead for the first time, and I can't remember the last time they raced in Homestead. And as my home track, I was there when they were doing some testing, some of the drivers there, the riders, and I still got to go drivers. Anyway,
Right.
they all gave me the strict party line. Everybody loved it. Nobody complained about anything. Everything it was if God had made himself and created a motorcycle track for him.
Right.
What have you heard about Homestead from some of the drivers? Be honest.
Well, I heard visibility is a little difficult, maybe from a fan perspective. But, it's a new racetrack, so everybody's really excited to go there. It's always fun to add a new venue to the schedule every year. And Homestead, being that it is Miami, I think it's going to be hard not to have a good time there. Not to mention M1, it's a big Kahuna event I'll be announcing, as well as walking around with my real-time point of view GoPro camera. So everybody's excited. It's a new event on the schedule. It's a big Kahuna round. It's close to the end. It's Miami, so the whole concept, I think everyone's really excited. As far as the track goes, it's new. People are going to have to figure it out. So I'm sure there'll be some teething issues for some of them, but everybody else seems to be really excited too.
Well, if you're going to be there and you're going to be announcing, you're going to be walking around with a camera, I'll make sure to let everybody know to come up and say hello. But to leave you
Please
alone,
do.
let you do your job, though.
Yes. Hey, it's all part of the job.
All right, guys. This has been Danielle Teal. Well, thank you again for coming on Oversteer TV. I hope to be talking to you more as this year progresses, and you can teach me more about AMA Pro Racing. And I got to get these And I'll make sure I put the graphics down below. M1powersports.com. Those are the promoters and everything. AMAProLive.com. You and your camera walking around. I've
That's
seen
right.
that. And NextMotoChampion.com, which is the podcast you do right after our show.
Right. Check it out. And everybody can follow me on Twitter at It's Danielle Teal. I also have a fan Facebook, and I'm updating minute by minute while I'm at the track. And it's really cool to be able to give the fans that are so loyal to me a little bit of an insight into the racetrack that I love to be at. So.
Yeah. Well, you do have to follow her on Twitter because I follow you on Twitter, and you're funny. Some of the stuff you put out. Oh, Chaka Khan thing. Now I'm going to be thinking Chaka Khan. You got to follow her on Twitter, guys.
Follow me. That's right. Cool, Tony.
All right, Danielle, thank you very much, and we'll be talking to you again, probably before Homestead, and we might have a little some surprises for our out there.
Definitely. Thanks so much, Tony. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
You too.